The spaceport was alive with noise, colors, and smells from countless worlds. Ships of all shapes and sizes lined the docking bays, their engines humming softly or roaring as they prepared for departure. Humans and aliens mingled, trading goods, showing wares, and shouting over the din. Starport lights reflected off polished metal and strange crystalline surfaces. It was a place where anything could happen, and everyone had a story. Ethan walked carefully through the crowded market. He had come to this planet seeking rare artifacts and information about alien cultures. He had traveled far, but nothing had prepared him for the diversity of life he now saw. Tall alien merchants waved bright banners, shouting in languages he only partially understood. Children ran through the crowds, laughing or squealing as they played tag across the plaza. Traders shouted prices in common, hoping to attract buyers. Among all the chaos, a small figure caught his attention. She was sitting alone near the edge of a market stall, her eyes wide and glistening. Ethan noticed immediately how different she was. She wasn't human. Her skin was a soft lavender color, and her ears were delicate and slightly pointed. Her eyes were large and round, reflecting the bright lights of the starport like tiny pools of starlight. She held a small toy in her hands, rocking it back and forth as if it were a treasure. Something about her made Ethan pause. There was no parent with her, no adult guiding her. Just this small alien child sitting quietly, watching the crowds. He felt a tug at his heart. "Hey," he said gently, kneeling a little to bring himself to her level. "Are you okay?" The girl's eyes flicked toward him. She spoke softly, almost a whisper in broken common. "Take my toys, please. Need money? Medicine." "Mother," Ethan blinked. He had expected the child to be shy, maybe frightened. He had not expected her words to be so clear and so heavy with meaning. The desperation in her voice made him catch his breath. He looked at the toy she was holding. It was small, a carved figure of some alien creature, painted with bright colors. "Medicine?" he asked carefully. "Your mother is sick?" She nodded, her small shoulders trembling. Her hands clutched the toy tighter. "She, very sick. Need help, cannot pay. I try." Her voice wavered. Ethan felt a surge of something powerful, a mixture of compassion, determination, and surprise. He had always known humans were capable of great acts of kindness, but seeing it now in the face of another species suffering made it even clearer. This little alien girl had nothing, and yet she was trying to give whatever she could. "Don't worry," he said softly. "I'll help. I'll find a way to get the medicine. But first, I can take the toy, yes." "Can you tell me more?" She hesitated, then held the toy out. Ethan reached carefully and took it, feeling the smooth surface and the faint warmth from her hands. She smiled faintly, but quickly hid it behind her small hands. Her eyes darted around nervously as if she feared someone might take her from him. "My name Lyra," she said. "Mother. Very sick. Need. Special medicine. Very expensive. I have nothing." Ethan nodded. He wanted to ask more questions, to understand the situation fully, but before he could speak, Lyra's eyes widened in fear. She looked past him, toward the busy market crowd, and whispered, "Must go. Must hide. They. Bad people." Ethan turned to see what she was looking at, but the crowd moved too quickly. When he looked back, she was gone. The small space where she had been sitting was empty. Only the toy he now held remained. He stood up slowly, feeling a mix of frustration and concern. He couldn't just leave her like this. Something told him that Lyra's situation was urgent. He scanned the crowd, looking for any sign of her. But the market was vast and crowded. Then he noticed a small scrap of paper fluttering on the ground near the edge of the stall. He picked it up. It was a note written in the shaky handwriting of a child. "Find me. Home. Outskirts. Docking Bay 7. Please hurry. Mother sick." Ethan's heart raced. He didn't know what he would find, but he knew he had to try. Whatever danger Lyra feared, whatever enemies might be watching, he could not ignore the plea. Humans had a way of stepping up when others could not. He had learned that in every corner of the galaxy he had traveled, humans were clever, resourceful, and compassionate. And he would need all of those qualities now. He made his way through the crowded streets, weaving between traders and shoppers. Searching for Docking Bay 7, the market gave way to a quieter area, dimly lit and mostly abandoned. Ships sat in silent rows, some sleek and modern, others patched with metal plates and makeshift repairs. The smell of fuel and metal filled the air. Finally, he reached the docking bay indicated in the note. It was a small, unused section of the station, tucked behind a cluster of storage containers. He called softly, "Lyra, are you here?" A small figure emerged from the shadows. It was her Lyra. She looked even smaller and more fragile in the dim light. Her large eyes shone with relief when she saw him. "You came," she whispered. Ethan smiled gently. "Of course, I promised. Let's see your mother. We'll figure this out together." She led him to a small makeshift dwelling built from scrap metal and alien fabrics. Inside it was dim but warm, with faint lighting from a hanging lantern. In the center of the room lay her mother, pale and weak, with eyes closed and breathing shallow. The mother's skin was a soft lavender like Lyra's, and her features were delicate and tired. Ethan's heart tightened. She looked gravely ill. He could see why Lyra was desperate. "Is she in pain?" he asked softly. Lyra shook her head. "Not much. Too weak need. Medicine. Very rare. Very expensive. I have only toys. Nothing else." Her voice cracked. She handed him a few more small toys, all handmade and carefully painted. Ethan looked at them, then back at her mother. His mind raced. He had experience with human medicine and some knowledge of alien remedies, but this was beyond anything he had prepared for. The solution wouldn't be simple. The medicine was rare, expensive, and perhaps difficult to obtain outside the official channels. But he couldn't ignore it. "Lyra," he said firmly, "we will get your mother the medicine. I don't know exactly how yet, but I promise you, we will try. You are very brave to do all this for her." She looked at him with wide eyes, hope flickering there for the first time since he had met her. I want Mother well. Please help." She whispered. Ethan nodded. "I will. But first, we need a plan. I'll have to negotiate, maybe trade, maybe use human skills. We will find a way." Lyra nodded slowly, her small hands clinging to his. In that moment, Ethan realized how fragile life could be, how courage came in small forms, and how human determination could make a difference. He didn't know what dangers lay ahead, but he knew one thing. He would not leave this child or her mother alone. Outside, the market continued, oblivious to the drama in the quiet docking bay. Traders shouted, ships roared to life, and the galaxy moved on. But inside that small room, a human and a small alien girl made a silent pact. Humanity, with all its flaws and strengths, had arrived, and it would not fail them. For Ethan, the adventure had only just begun. The first step was simple: understand the problem. But the journey would be far more complicated. The market was just a small corner of a larger universe filled with challenges, dangers, and unexpected allies. He took a deep breath and looked at Lyra. "We start tomorrow. Rest now. Your mother needs her strength, and so do you." She smiled faintly, laying her head against a small blanket. "Think. Human. You." "Kind," Ethan smiled back, feeling the warmth of purpose settle in his chest. Tomorrow, they would begin the fight for her mother's life. And as he watched over her and the frail figure resting beside her, he realized something important. Humans were capable of more than just survival. They could inspire hope, even across species, even in the darkest corners of the galaxy. And for Lyra and her mother, that hope had just arrived. The morning light filtered through the small window of Lyra's home, casting gentle rays on the worn blankets and scattered toys. Lyra stirred, blinking at the sunlight. Her mother's breathing was slightly steadier, but she still looked weak, her small frame trembling slightly with every breath. Lyra's large eyes filled with worry as she glanced at Ethan, who was sitting nearby, reviewing the note she had left behind yesterday. "We need to move fast," Ethan said quietly. "Her medicine is rare, and the longer we wait, the worse it will get." Lyra nodded, determination shining in her wide eyes. I know. Money. We must find. Very expensive." Ethan rose, brushing off his coat. "I'll find a way, but we have to be careful. There are people in this market who do not like humans helping aliens for free." Lyra tilted her head. "People. Bad." Yesterday. Watching. Ethan frowned. He had noticed the shadowy figure in the market, the one who had been observing him while Lyra had disappeared. Now he realized the danger was real. Someone powerful wanted to stop them, or perhaps take Lyra for their own benefit. "We need a plan," he said firmly. "First, we find a trader willing to sell the medicine. Then we figure out how to pay for it." Lyra hesitated. "I have. Toys." Ethan smiled gently. "You've already tried." "That's brave. But toys alone will not be enough. I'll trade my skills. Humans have ways to earn money that others might not expect." Together, they stepped outside. The air of the spaceport was different in the morning. The crowd was smaller, and traders were setting up their stalls, arranging their goods with careful hands. Metallic clangs and the hiss of engines filled the air, but there was a rhythm to the chaos. It was easier to move now, easier to look for allies. Ethan led Lyra to a section of the market known for rare goods. Alien traders displayed shimmering crystals, exotic plants, and mechanical gadgets that whirred and clicked. One particular trader caught Ethan's eye: a tall, thin alien with green-scaled skin and multiple eyes, each moving independently. He handled complex gadgets with ease, pairing devices as he spoke rapidly to a human customer. "This is him," Ethan whispered. "He deals in rare medicines too. If anyone can help, it's him." Lyra peeked out from behind his coat, gripping his arm. Mean. "Maybe," Ethan admitted, "but we have to try. If we act wisely, he'll see we're serious." Ethan approached the trader carefully. "Good morning," he said politely. "I'm looking for a rare medicine for an illness that cannot wait. Can you help?" The alien trader glanced at him, then at Lyra. His eyes narrowed as he studied the small girl. "Medicine is expensive, not for free. Especially for someone so—" Young Ethan nodded, keeping his voice calm. "I understand. I can pay, but I need a fair price. I also have skills that might help you with your work repairs, calculations, designs. Humans are good at solving problems quickly." The trader's multiple eyes flickered with curiosity. He had seen humans before, but they rarely offered skills in exchange for medicine. "Humans think they can bargain with skills." "Interesting. Show me." Ethan spent the next hour assisting the trader. He repaired a complex alien device that had been malfunctioning for weeks, recalculated energy outputs for a small starship, and offered ideas for improving market efficiency. The trader's eyes widened with surprise. Impressive. Very impressive. Lyra watched silently, clutching a small blanket around her shoulders. She could feel hope growing. Perhaps this human could really help her mother. Finally, the trader sighed, reaching for a small vial filled with glowing blue liquid. "This is what you need. Very rare, very potent. But you have earned it. If your human friend can continue to show value—" Ethan nodded, ready to negotiate further. He was determined to secure the medicine before Lyra's mother's condition worsened. But just as he was about to finalize the deal, he felt a cold shiver run down his spine. The shadowy figure from the market yesterday stepped out from behind a stall. This time, it was clear. A wealthy, imposing alien with a dark cloak and sharp eyes, observing them closely. He did not move, only watched. His presence was a warning. Ethan glanced at Lyra. "Stay close," he whispered. "We may have company." The figure took a step forward. "That child belongs to me," he said in a low voice that carried authority. "You have no right to interfere." Ethan stood tall, his voice calm but firm. "She is not yours to take. She is trying to save her mother. No one has the right to use her like that." The alien sneered, his many eyes gleaming with greed. "Humans are always foolishly brave. Do you think you can stop me?" Ethan smiled faintly. "I don't need to stop you. I need to solve a problem. And solving problems, that's what humans do best." The tension in the air was thick. Traders and bystanders paused, watching the confrontation. Lyra hid behind Ethan, clutching his coat. Despite her fear, she felt pride. This human was not just strong, he had courage, and he was clever. Ethan turned back to the trader. "We will take the medicine," he said quickly. "But we also need safe passage out of here. That man intends to stop us." The trader raised his multi-eyed gaze to the cloaked alien, and then back to Ethan. "Interesting. Human shows courage and skill. I like this. Take the medicine, but leave quickly. You will need more than speed to avoid trouble." Ethan nodded, paying the agreed price in credits he had gathered from previous trades. The glowing blue vial was handed over, and he tucked it carefully into his bag. Lyra watched the liquid shimmer, hope lighting her small face. The cloaked alien stepped closer. But Ethan blocked his path calmly. "We leave now. No one gets hurt," he said. For a moment the alien studied him, then shrugged. "For now," he said, stepping back. "But remember, humans cannot solve everything." Ethan did not answer. He took Lyra's hand and led her out of the market, weaving through the stalls and avoiding crowded areas. They moved quickly, but carefully, back toward the outskirts where her mother waited. By the time they returned, the small dwelling was quiet, the faint sunlight casting soft patterns across the floor. Lyra's mother stirred slightly, opening her eyes as Ethan approached. Medicine," she whispered weakly, her voice barely audible. Ethan nodded and gently gave her the glowing blue vial. "Yes, this will help. She will be better soon. But she needs rest and care, and you must be strong too." Lyra's mother tried to sit up, but collapsed back into the blankets. Ethan knelt beside her, carefully administering the medicine, according to the instructions he had learned from the trader. He adjusted dosages and checked her condition, making sure she was comfortable. Lyra watched, eyes wide with admiration and relief. "Human, very strong. Very clever," she whispered. Ethan smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her forehead. "Humans are strong when it matters, Lyra. Courage and cleverness. That is what helps others survive." Right. The room grew quiet, except for the mother's gentle breathing. Lyra leaned against Ethan, feeling safe for the first time in days, but he knew this was only the beginning. The cloaked alien would not give up so easily, and there would be more challenges ahead. Still, for now, they had won a small victory. Lyra's mother was alive, the medicine was in her hands, and a human had proven that compassion and intelligence could change the course of events. Ethan rose to his feet. Looking out the small window at the bustling city beyond, the galaxy was filled with dangers, but also opportunities to do good. And he realized something important. Sometimes all it took was one human to stand up, be clever, and show compassion to make a difference across worlds. He turned back to Lyra. "Rest now," he said gently. "Tomorrow, we will make sure your mother gets better, and we will plan how to protect you from those who want to harm you. But for tonight, we have succeeded. You and your mother are safe." Lyra smiled faintly, her small hands clutching his arm. "Thank, human. You kind. Strong." Ethan nodded. "Humans help because it is the right thing to do. You will see more of that as you grow. And one day, you may help others too." Outside, the spaceport hummed with activity, starships roaring, traders shouting, and the galaxy moving on. But inside that small dwelling, a human, a small alien girl, and her recovering mother had found a moment of peace. Humanity, with its courage, ingenuity, and compassion, had arrived and had already begun to make a difference. Tomorrow would bring new struggles. But for tonight, hope filled the room. And for Ethan, that hope was a reminder that humans were capable of extraordinary things especially when they chose to act with heart. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the small window of Lyra's home. Her mother rested more comfortably now, the medicine slowly taking effect. Lyra's eyes sparkled with hope, but the worry in her heart had not vanished. There was still a long way to go to ensure her mother's full recovery and keep them safe from the shadowy alien who had been watching them. Ethan rose early, already thinking of solutions. He knew the medicine was only a temporary fix. Her mother would need continued care, which meant they had to find money, supplies, and safety, all in a world that did not always welcome humans helping alien children. "We cannot just wait for help to come to us," Ethan said. "We have to act. Lyra, I need your help, but you must be careful. The man who wants to take you will still be watching." Lyra nodded seriously. "I understand. I help. I learn." Ethan smiled. "Good. That is the right attitude. Humans face problems every day and find ways to solve them. You can too, little one." Their first step was to find ways to earn the money needed for long-term treatment. Ethan knew the local alien markets were filled with traders who valued knowledge, skill, and clever problem-solving, things humans often excelled at. He led Lyra back to the market, carefully avoiding the areas where the shadowy alien might be watching. The bustling plaza seemed calmer in the morning, with the first customers moving between stalls. Ethan approached an old human-run trading post that specialized in mechanical parts and rare components. "Good morning," Ethan said to the human vendor. "I need work. I can repair machines, analyze problems, and build tools. My friend here," he nodded to Lyra, "can assist in small tasks. We are honest and capable." The vendor raised an eyebrow. "Humans rarely offer help without asking for immediate pay. What's your plan?" Ethan smiled. "We work first, then we earn. We need credits for medicine and supplies for a small alien family. Can you trust us to prove our skills?" The vendor studied them carefully, then nodded. "I like confidence. Show me what you can do." Ethan got to work immediately. He repaired broken droids, recalibrated energy conduits, and redesigned small tools to work faster and more efficiently. Lyra watched closely, learning quickly. She helped by organizing parts, holding tools, and passing materials where needed. Ethan encouraged her every step of the way. By midday, word had spread through the market. Traders and customers whispered about the human who could fix almost anything and the small alien girl assisting him. Soon, other vendors approached, asking for help with their machines and systems. With each successful repair, Ethan earned credits, enough to begin planning Lyra's mother's treatment and safety. But just as they began to feel a small sense of accomplishment, trouble appeared. The cloaked alien from the previous day emerged from the shadows, standing in the market entrance. His sharp eyes scanned the area, focusing on Lyra. Ethan noticed him immediately. "Stay close," he whispered to Lyra. "We may have company." The cloaked figure's many eyes flicked around, observing the activity. Traders and bystanders shifted nervously, sensing danger. The alien approached, moving with an almost imperceptible grace. "You persist," he said, his voice low and commanding. "I warned you, human. That child belongs to me. Step aside." Ethan stood tall, blocking the path between the alien and Lyra. "She belongs to no one who wants to use her for profit. She is not yours to take. Now leave, or you will find that humans do not back down when others are in danger." Alien sneered. "Humans, always foolish. Do you think your cleverness can match my resources?" Ethan's lips curled into a faint smile. "Cleverness is not just tools or weapons. Cleverness is understanding, strategy, and courage. Watch closely." With that, Ethan activated a small mechanical device he had repaired earlier, a gadget that projected bright light patterns into the air and emitted a soft, disorienting hum. The device was harmless, but confusing. Traders and bystanders scattered for safety. Giving Ethan and Lyra a moment to move, he grabbed Lyra's hand and pulled her behind a nearby stall. "Humans think fast under pressure," he whispered. "This will buy us time." The cloaked alien froze, momentarily confused by the sudden distraction. Ethan used the moment to lead Lyra to a narrow alley, weaving through the maze of stalls. He kept calm, his mind analyzing every step, every possible escape route. Humans had a gift for adapting in chaotic situations, and now that skill was keeping them safe by the time they reached a quieter street. The alien had disappeared from sight, but Ethan knew this was only temporary. He would need a more permanent solution to protect Lyra. They returned to Lyra's small home, carefully avoiding the crowded market areas. Her mother was resting more comfortably now, though her skin still looked pale. Ethan set down the small amount of food and supplies they had earned and checked the glowing blue vial of medicine. "We need to keep her strong," he said. "I'll continue earning credits. You can learn from me. Together, we will make sure your mother gets better, and we will stay safe from that alien." Lyra nodded seriously. "Learn, help. Stay strong." Over the next few days, Ethan used his skills to make clever trades and complete tasks that no alien could do as efficiently. He repaired starship engines, optimized energy converters, and solved complex market problems for traders. Every success brought them more credits, enough to buy extra medicine and supplies for Lyra's mother. Lyra learned quickly. Absorbing lessons from Ethan, she learned to organize tools, read instructions, and understand basic mechanical principles. Her small hands worked carefully, her large eyes focused and determined. Ethan encouraged her at every step, praising her courage and cleverness. By the end of the week, they had enough money not only for medicine, but also for additional security measures. Ethan had bought small security devices to protect Lyra's home and installed them carefully, ensuring that any intruder would be detected early. Lyra's mother was steadily improving, gaining strength with each day. One evening, as they sat outside their small home watching the stars, Lyra asked softly, "Human, why? Help me." "Help my mother?" Ethan smiled, staring at the distant stars. "Humans help because it is the right thing to do. We can be clever, strong, and brave, but most importantly, we care about others. That is our true strength." Lyra's eyes sparkled with understanding. "I want. Be like you. Clever, strong. Help others." "You can," Ethan said. "Everyone can. Even small people can make big differences. Courage does not depend on size, species, or strength. It depends on heart and mind." That night, Ethan reflected on what they had accomplished. He had used human ingenuity, resourcefulness, and courage to protect and help another species. He had demonstrated that humans could solve problems, create solutions, and inspire hope even in dangerous situations. But he also knew the cloaked alien had not given up. He would return, perhaps more powerful, more determined. Ethan had to be ready. Humans often faced challenges they could not predict, and survival sometimes depended on creativity, quick thinking, and bravery. Ethan looked at Lyra and her mother, feeling a deep sense of responsibility and pride. "Tomorrow, we continue," he whispered to himself. "We keep her safe, we keep her mother healthy, and we show the galaxy what humans are capable of." Outside, the stars glimmered in the vast sky above the bustling city. Ships roared as they prepared for interstellar travel. Traders shouted across the market, and life continued at the spaceport. But in a quiet little home, humanity, through courage, cleverness, and compassion, had made a lasting impact on 2 lives, and Ethan knew this was only the beginning. The sun had barely risen over the bustling city, painting the streets with pale golden light. Lyra's mother was awake now, sitting up slowly, her body still weak, but improving with each passing day. Lyra moved quietly around the room, tidying up and checking on the small security devices Ethan had installed. Ethan stood near the window, scanning the streets beyond. He knew the cloaked alien had not given up. Each time he thought they were safe, that figure would return more determined than before. He had prepared as much as he could: security devices, early warning systems, and clever hiding spots, but the alien was resourceful. They would need courage, strategy, and quick thinking to face him again. "Human," Lyra said softly, approaching him. "Scared he? Come back." Ethan knelt down to her level. "Yes, he may return. But fear is only dangerous if we let it control us. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting even when we are afraid. And we are prepared. Lyra nodded slowly, gripping his hand. I help. Be brave. That's right, Ethan said. And together, we will protect your mother and keep you safe. They spent the morning preparing for possible confrontation. Ethan showed Lyra how to observe carefully, how to detect patterns, and how to anticipate danger. They reinforced the dwelling's hidden exits, made small alarms using recycled mechanical parts, and organized essential supplies so that everything was within reach if they needed to move quickly. By mid-afternoon, the city was busy with market activity. Traders shouted, children played, and ships roared in and out of the docking bays. Lyra and Ethan were outside checking some newly installed devices when they felt a sudden hush fell over the street. People stopped moving, their eyes scanning the horizon. And then they saw him. The cloaked alien had returned. His eyes glinted with malice as he stepped into the street. Moving with a quiet authority that commanded attention, he carried himself like someone used to getting whatever he wanted. But this time, Ethan was ready. Stay behind me, he whispered to Lyra. We will handle this together. The alien approached slowly, his gaze fixed on Lyra. You persist, human. This child is mine. Step aside or face consequences. Ethan straightened, standing firm. She is not yours. She is brave and she is strong. You cannot control her or her mother. Now leave or I will stop you, the alien sneered. Humans, always thinking they are clever. Let us see how far your cleverness takes you. With a sudden motion, the alien reached for a small device at his belt, a tool that emitted a strong energy pulse capable of disabling machines in the area. Ethan reacted instantly. Using a small mechanical shield he had built earlier, he deflected the pulse, giving them a moment to move. Follow me, Ethan shouted, grabbing Lyra's hand. Together, they dashed through a narrow alley, weaving between market stalls and ducking behind crates. The alien followed, his movements fast and precise. Ethan led Lyra to a hidden passage he had discovered days earlier, a small tunnel beneath the city's storage yards. The tunnel was narrow, dark, and winding, but it offered a perfect hiding place. They slipped inside, just as the alien's shadow fell across the entrance. Inside, Ethan paused to catch his breath. This tunnel will take us to a safer location, he whispered. We can outsmart him if we think carefully. Lyra peered at him, eyes wide. Human. You, smart. Clever. Ethan smiled faintly. Humans are clever when they must be. But cleverness alone is not enough. We need courage, teamwork, and quick thinking. They moved carefully through the winding tunnels, Ethan leading the way, while Lyra followed closely. Along the path, he showed her how to listen for subtle sounds, detect vibrations in the floor, and watch for small movements in the shadows. Lyra absorbed every lesson, her small face set with determination. After what felt like hours, they emerged into a quiet section of the city, far from the bustling markets. The streets were empty, and the air was cooler here, away from the crowd and noise. Ethan led Lyra to a small, abandoned building, one he had noticed days before and had prepared as a temporary safe haven. This will be our base for now, he said. We can plan our next steps and keep your mother safe. The alien will not find us here easily. Lyra nodded, relieved to have a moment of safety. Thank. Human. You. Protect me. Ethan patted her shoulder. It is what humans do. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. But we cannot stop here. We need a long-term solution to keep you and your mother safe. Over the next few days, Ethan worked tirelessly. He secured additional resources: food, clean water, and medicine. He also designed small traps and early warning systems to alert them if the cloaked alien or any other threat approached. Lyra helped wherever she could, learning quickly and proving her courage. She watched Ethan with admiration, slowly understanding that bravery was not about size or strength. It was about determination and cleverness. One evening, as they sat outside their temporary safe haven, Lyra asked softly, Human, why Do you risk? Help me. Ethan looked at the stars above, reflecting on their journey. Because it is the right thing to do, he said. Humans have a choice every day, to act selfishly or to help others. We help because we can. Courage is not just for warriors. It is for everyone who sees someone in need and chooses to act. Lyra nodded, understanding beginning to shine in her eyes. I want be like you. Help others. Brave. You will, Ethan said. You already are brave. Courage is not about fighting alone. It is about standing up for what is right, even when you are afraid. You have heart, Lyra. That is your greatest strength. Just then, a faint sound echoed through the streets, a soft mechanical hum that set Ethan's senses on alert. He crouched low, signaling Lyra to do the same. The alien. He whispered, He is testing us, but we are ready. The cloaked figure emerged from the shadows, moving cautiously this time, aware that his previous attacks had failed. Ethan observed him carefully, noting the alien's movements, predicting his strategy. Humans had a natural ability to adapt, to think quickly in chaotic situations. And this was their advantage now. Ethan used a combination of strategy and clever devices to mislead the alien. Small decoys, sound distractions, and cleverly timed movements allowed them to keep the alien at bay. Lyra followed his instructions perfectly, showing that courage and intelligence could work together, no matter one's size or species. Hours passed in this careful dance of strategy. The alien, frustrated and unable to catch them, eventually retreated into the night, disappearing into the city's shadows. Ethan let out a slow breath, relief washing over him. You see, Lyra, he said softly. Kneeling beside her, humans are not just strong with our bodies. We are strong with our minds, our courage, and our hearts. That is why we can face challenges even when they seem impossible. Lyra's eyes glistened. I understand. Human, very strong, very clever, brave. Ethan smiled, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. And one day you will show the galaxy your strength too. Courage is contagious. The heart is powerful, and small acts of bravery can change everything. That night as Lyra slept, Ethan kept watch. The city around them continued its endless rhythm ships roaring, traders shouting, children laughing, but in their small safe haven, humanity had triumphed. Courage, cleverness, and compassion had protected the weak and inspired hope. For Ethan, this was more than a victory over a dangerous alien. It was proof that humans, even alone or in small numbers, could make a difference in the galaxy. They could face challenges, protect others, and inspire hope across worlds. And for Lyra, this was a lesson she would never forget, that strength was not just about power, but about heart, courage, and the cleverness to act when it mattered most. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but for tonight they had one. Humanity had proven itself once again, not through force, but through courage, compassion, and clever thinking. And in the quiet streets of the alien city, 2 lives had been changed forever. The city was quieter now, bathed in the soft glow of morning. Lyra's mother rested peacefully, her breathing steady and strong. The medicine had worked well, and with Ethan's careful attention, she was regaining her strength faster than anyone had expected. Lyra moved about the small home, smiling as she tidied, her eyes bright with relief and happiness. Ethan watched the scene with quiet satisfaction. The long struggle had tested them all, Lyra, her mother, and himself, but they had come through it together. Humans had a way of turning difficult situations into solutions through courage, cleverness, and compassion. Today was proof of that. Lyra, Ethan said softly, kneeling beside her, your mother is doing better. You did a brave thing by asking for help, and you have learned much from watching, helping, and thinking carefully. That is what courage looks like. Lyra nodded, her small hands gripping his arm. I learn. Human. Very strong. Help. Clever. Ethan smiled. Strength is not just about size or power. It is about heart, determination, and using your mind wisely. And now you know it too. The sound of a distant crowd reminded them that the world outside was still moving. Ships roared in the docks, traders shouted, and the city hummed with life. But Ethan had one final task, dealing with the cloaked alien who had been threatening them. He could not leave the danger unresolved. Lyra's mother needed safety as well as medicine, and courage alone would not keep them safe. Ethan stepped outside, Lyra close behind him. He scanned the area carefully. The cloaked alien had been hiding, waiting for a chance to strike, but Ethan had anticipated this. Using a combination of decoys, small security devices, and clever thinking, he created a plan to confront him safely. "Remember, Lyra," Ethan whispered, "humans face problems directly, but we also use our minds. We will stop him without unnecessary risk." The cloaked figure appeared in the street, his eyes narrowing as he recognized them. He had clearly underestimated human determination and strategy. "You persist, human," he said, his voice low and dangerous. "This child is mine." Ethan took a deep breath and stepped forward. "No," he said firmly. "She is free. You cannot take her. We have proven that courage, cleverness, and care can overcome threats like you. Now leave or face consequences." The alien moved toward them, but Ethan activated a small device he had hidden nearby. It created a strong, harmless energy field, temporarily disorienting the alien and forcing him to step back. Lyra watched, wide-eyed, as Ethan demonstrated that humans could defend others without cruelty using brains. "Not only strength, you humans always think you are clever," the alien sneered, regaining his focus. "But one day your pride will fail you." Ethan shook his head. "No, it is not pride. It is responsibility and the will to protect those who cannot protect themselves. You may have power, but you lack what humans call heart." The alien hesitated, realizing that brute force alone would not win here. He retreated slowly, his sharp eyes following them for a moment before disappearing into the shadows. Ethan watched him go, confident that the immediate danger had passed. He turned back to Lyra and her mother. "See, courage, intelligence, and teamwork can overcome even the strongest opponents. Humans have a way of standing up for what is right, and we never give up." Lyra ran to her mother, hugging her tightly. "Mother, better, safe, human help." Her mother smiled weakly, but with genuine warmth. "Yes, thanks to this human. We are alive. We are safe." Ethan knelt beside them, feeling a quiet sense of accomplishment. This was more than a victory over a threatening alien. It was proof that humans could make a difference through cleverness, courage, and compassion. He had protected 2 lives, taught a small alien child valuable lessons, and shown that humanity's true strength lay not in weapons or domination, but in heart and mind. Over the next few days, Lyra's mother regained her full strength. She could walk, speak clearly, and even help prepare meals. The little home was filled with warmth, laughter, and gratitude. Lyra moved about confidently, helping her mother and practicing the clever techniques she had learned from Ethan. One evening, as the stars appeared in the sky, Lyra sat beside Ethan. "Human, I thank you much. Help, brave." Ethan smiled, placing a hand gently on her shoulder. "Humans help because it is right to help, Lyra. We solve problems, protect others, and act with courage. And today, you have seen that in action. But remember, courage is contagious. One day, you will help others too, and the galaxy will be brighter because of you." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "I want help others like you. Clever. Brave. You can," Ethan said. "Even small acts can change everything. Your heart is strong, your mind is sharp, and your courage is real. The universe will remember that." News of Ethan's actions began to spread quietly through the market and the spaceport. Traders spoke of a human who had helped a small alien family, showing intelligence, bravery, and compassion. Aliens and humans alike began to see that humans could be trusted, not just for trade or skills, but for integrity and courage. Lyra's mother, now fully recovered, embraced her daughter. "Thanks to this human, we live. But remember, Lyra, it is not just humans who can be brave. You two have learned to be clever, strong, and courageous. One day, you will inspire others." Lyra nodded, hugging her mother tightly. "I will help others. Brave, clever, heartstrong." Ethan stood nearby, watching the small family. A sense of fulfillment washed over him. Humans had a unique gift, the ability to inspire hope, to act with courage, and to solve problems where others might fail. And today that gift had made a real difference. Before leaving, Ethan checked the security systems one last time. Everything was in place, ensuring that no threats could harm the family again. He gave Lyra a small nod of encouragement. "Stay smart, stay brave, and remember what you have learned. You are stronger than you think." Lyra smiled and waved as Ethan stepped outside, ready to continue his travels. Human. "Thank you. Always." Ethan returned her wave. "The universe is full of challenges, Lyra, but courage, cleverness, and compassion can change them all. Remember that. One day, you will show the galaxy what you are capable of." As he walked back toward the bustling city, the stars above seemed brighter, reflecting the small but powerful victory that had taken place. 2 lives had been saved, 1 lesson of bravery and intelligence had been learned, and the story of humanity's courage had reached even the far corners of the galaxy. Ethan knew that the universe would continue to test him, and others like him, but he also knew that humans had the power to face any challenge. Cleverness, courage, and heart were more powerful than any weapon, more enduring than any force, and in a quiet corner of a distant alien city, a small girl looked up at the stars, her mother healthy and her heart full of hope. Humanity had proven its worth not through dominance, but through action, intelligence, and compassion. Lyra hugged her mother tightly, smiling at the stars. "We safe. Thanks, human. Help. Strong, clever, brave." And far above, the galaxy continued its endless dance of stars and worlds, knowing that somewhere humans were showing what they could do, not just for themselves. But for others, the lesson was clear. Courage, ingenuity, and kindness could change lives. Humans could rise to any challenge. Humanity had arrived, and this was only the beginning.